we weren't recording, but now we're recording. So
we are recording.
Everything straight after your alrighty was recorded.
Alrighty.
Let it die, man. You missed it once. It's not coming back.
Cool. This episode of the Coin Street Times is brought to you by
Shell.
What's a real podcasty sponsor?
What is it?
We're not brought to you by
Squarespace.
Squarespace.
I was trying to think of, yeah.
Go to squarespace.com/the Coin Street Times and you will get a 404 error because they are not a sponsor.
If anyone from Squarespace is listening,
yeah,
shoot us an email.
Yeah, cool. It's been, I guess you'd describe the week of crypto as turbulent.
Turbulent, you say?
Yeah, we hit a bit of turbulence. We fastened our seatbelts and hopefully we're through to the other side.
Yeah, I guess so.
Would you describe it as turbulent?
When is it not turbulent?
I mean, I bought every dip and sold every high on the micro scale, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You're doing it right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just looking at the charts, Bitcoin had a bit of a rough week, down 12%, which the whole market sort of followed. Ethereum actually had a decent week. Well, great week relative to the rest of the market, up 12%. Ripple got brought down to earth a bit, down 30%, which I think is fair. I think Ripple was a bit overvalued. I don't know. What do you guys think?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, given that, like Stellar, it was worth 10 times more than Stellar. And surely it's not worth 10 times more than Stellar.
Yeah, no, they're very similar in what they kind of, in their scope. So I imagine that Stellar has a lot of room to grow, or Ripple has a lot of room to fall, either way.
Yeah. I think Stellar's actually better than Ripple, personally.
Ooh, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I probably agree with you, but...
Throwing shade right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Young.
Look, we want to be a neutral podcast. We won't have any strong opinions, all right?
Yeah. But I think they were due for a drop. Neo had a great week, up 60%, which is amazing given the rest of the cryptos this week. Do you guys know much about why Neo's doing so well this week?
Well, you asked us before we started recording. We said no. So.
Well, you should have learned by now. Come on,
man.
You guys have Google.
We really can't. You don't have internet in your house yet.
We just moved to a new studio and still getting the Wi-Fi installed. Waiting for that Squarespace money to come through to get that all set up. But yeah, most of the cryptos are down this week with a few exceptions. But I guess if we go straight into the news, one of those reasons why was there's some FUD coming out of South Korea.
What's FUD, Joe?
Great question, Jace. FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the perfect way to describe this story because there's been so many contradicting stories about what's going on with South Korea. Are they actually banning crypto? A lot of people are saying they are. A lot of things on Reddit saying, oh, no, they're not. So it's hard to navigate through that space. But yeah, what have you guys seen about that?
Is that related to why CoinMarketCap took the Korean prices off?
No, I think those are two
totally
unrelated. Yeah. So the reason why CoinMarketCap took Korean prices off is because there's so much demand that I think the prices to buy crypto in South Korea are higher. So it was fluctuating.
It was just throwing the prices out of whack.
Yeah. So that's just two separate things, I think.
Yeah, although on that, today I was wondering, arbitrage, you can like buy at a certain exchange that's selling it cheaper and sell it at an exchange that's selling it higher. Like if you've got Korean exchanges buying Bitcoin for 1.2 times as much as, they're buying it here, or any coin, why wouldn't you buy it here, sell it on that exchange, rinse and repeat, make a lot of money, right? So I was wondering why you can't do that, but I looked it up. Do you guys know why you can't do that? Or why it's not ideal to
I feel like you really want to tell us.
I'm going to tell you.
You can't you?
Ollie's like secretly been doing it. Millions of dollars. Well, no, I think I heard some guy try to do it, and there's like a limit, at least in the US. On the US side and the Korea side, because this was a person who was a US citizen doing it using Korean exchanges. There's a maximum of $50,000 you can send out internationally per year without being like really severely audited or something. And apparently, I don't know what the charge is, but this guy was contacted by special prosecutors, they were called in quotation marks, from Korea, who said that every time he'd sent, I think was it $40,000 out, he'd committed a crime and he will be charges will be pressed against him. And it's really hard because I think he's living in Korea, but he can't understand the law very well because he's not native Korean. And he's asked his Korean friends and like, yeah, you're probably going to go to jail. Maybe if you plead guilty, like, might be okay. So that's the reason. I don't know what the law is.
Shout out to that guy.
But it's something to do with funneling. I think it's like money laundering laws, like funneling money out of the country. Yeah. Anyway, that was just.
So I saw today that the US Coinbase site charges 4%, when here in Australia Coinbase charges 3%. So I was like, why don't they just get VPNs and just get charged 3% instead of 4%? But I guess that's part of that explanation. And I guess the other thing is just simpler.
Oh, it's simpler.
I read something on Reddit, the most legit news site on the internet. It was some guy saying that he was working for one of the big financial companies like JP Morgan or something like that. Right. And he was saying basically that outwardly they're being very anti-crypto, but on the inside they do actually have teams that are investing quite heavily, and they have like programs that'll essentially just do that, like the arbitrage, and they'll find all the best deals and just buy from one exchange and sell the other, and they're just doing that on like a crazy scale.
Right.
And so they're making tons of money just doing that.
The South Korean government?
No, like big financial companies, like JP Morgan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, it's definitely not like technically impossible, but I think the hurdles for individual people are probably very high. But I guess if you knew what you were doing and
I would like to say that's alleged. I read that on the internet, and don't come chasing after me.
Yeah, because they're definitely listening to this podcast to try and catch us.
They go after the big fish.
That's right. Gonna take us down. It's the only thing that can stop us at this point. It's a regulation. But yeah, sorry, what was our original? I kind of diverged.
South Korea FUD.
Yeah. So that's no good.
Yeah. God, how sucky it would be to be South Korean then. Like a South Korean crypto investor, not just in general.
Yeah.
Like they have so much. Like the volume on Korean trading was so high, like they owned so much, and then for their government to turn around and go, "Oh yeah, by the way, all that stuff you invested in, it's now illegal."
Yeah,
assuming they do that.
Although I heard more recently, again, it's so hard to know what's really happening, but I saw articles, quote unquote, saying that to clarify, there is no ban. They're just looking to. I think it was a judge that ruled. Everyone has their right to invest in it or something. I can't remember the exact quote, but some South Korean.
Right.
I don't know. Again, this could all be. It's very hard to. The news is coming out so quickly. It's very hard to know. What is actually happening.
Yeah. And I guess there are reasons for and against why government might want their people to be investing in crypto. One thing that's really good for governments is if everyone's paying capital gains tax on everything that they're investing. That could be a reason to incentivize people from your country investing in crypto. So.
That's very true.
I think countries like Canada might be supporting it. So
that's very true. On the other hand, though, if it's very easy to evade taxes, then that might be a downside. And I think at this moment, I don't know. Like, I guess we haven't really been through a big wave of crypto being, gained and evaded. But I imagine that it is one of the easier ways to evade taxes, just because it's such a new technology and it really requires a lot of work from whoever's auditing to really kind of build a case against whoever's doing it. So I could imagine that that would be a reason governments would not want to have it.
Yeah, it's probably another thing that accountants will probably have to be studying in a few years. Like, I got my crypto auditing class now.
Maybe so. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's a weird blend of technology, with new technology with kind of traditional, I guess, the finance world, traditional finance world. So yeah, I guess it'll be interesting.
I wonder if there'll be a crypto just for taxes.
Tax coin.
Tax coin, yeah.
That'd be funny. Although I guess I do wonder, with because there are privacy coins, Monero, Dash, Zcash. Like, I wonder what will happen with those. I think people are worried that regulation might happen, just because. How do you kind of prove what transactions have happened? Because the whole idea of the technology is it's private, so you don't see what money's stored in what wallet. You can't see what transactions have happened. And so far, the technology seems pretty bulletproof. So yeah, I wonder how governments will approach that as well in terms of regulation.
So do I.
Can they regulate that without just being like all out against it?
That's what I'm wondering. But I guess the upside would be that I imagine if regulations happen, that would be kind of the first target. So I guess it'd be probably a while between that happening, and if it were to come to bigger, wider sweeping regulations on crypto, that would probably be the first warning sign, if anything.
Shall I flick the light on?
Oh, okay. Joe did about 5 seconds of
miming, but yeah, we should, it's pretty dark.
Sure,
right?
chuck the light on.
Talk amongst yourselves. But, yeah.
All right. Well, Ollie has also taken his headphones off. So, hey guys.
Professionalism.
That's squarespace.com. Yeah, let's move on to the next news story that we have here. Can you still hear me, Ollie?
He doesn't have his headphones on.
Yeah, but he still has ears.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that microphones are the only way to communicate to people.
Cool. So there's a fortune.com article saying that nearly a fifth of crypto investors are using their credit card to invest. So that's kind of shocking, but also not shocking. I don't know. Is that surprising to you guys or not?
I guess concerning would be, I guess that would be the first word that comes to mind.
Yeah, concerning more than surprising.
Yeah, I guess, because in America, I know that payday loan schemes are huge. Like they make a whole lot of money. Like predatory lending to poor people, basically. Kind of, you can't pay this week's rent. It's fine. Just, take a loan out. Worry about it later. It's fine. And they kind of make their money from. They know that people can't pay the loans back. It's the opposite of kind of traditional loaning where you need a deposit.
Assets or something.
Yeah, it's really immoral. And so I guess it's not surprising to me that
We have
people.
a lot of that here. Like you get adverts for like payday loans and stuff on TV all the time.
I'm a hipster. I'm a millennial. I don't watch TV.
Yeah, I feel like it's worse in America just based on when I used to live there.
It's probably worse in America. For sure.
Yeah, a lot of payday loan ads and then lawyer ads were the two
Right after
big ones.
been screwed by a payday loan, call me. Yeah,
It's the same guy. He's just wearing a mustache this time. I have a few more stats on this. So a fifth of people using credit cards. 22% of those people did not pay their credit card balances. And 90% of the people who are using their credit card to purchase crypto plan to sell their Bitcoin to pay off that credit card debt.
yeah.
So that's just surely not good.
Good strategy, good investment.
Yeah.
I mean, I think crypto has brought out the kind of risk. What's the opposite of risk averse? Risk loving.
Yeah.
It's brought out the risk lover in everyone, I think.
Crazies.
Yeah. Because I think it's funny how 10K was such a big milestone for Bitcoin. And I think it's because a lot of people had maybe barely heard about it in the past and thought, it's probably something I won't have to worry about again. And then I think 10K was that number of times where people thought, wow, it keeps coming back. I got to really think about this one. This might be here to stay. This is actually something. And so I guess a lot of people are thinking, look, now that's made that point, there's no way it's going to fail. There's no way it's going to go down even 1%. It's fine. I'm great. We're going to make millions. It's going to keep going up. And I don't know if that is exactly the way it's going to go. I think we've talked about the future of Bitcoin, whether it might stay the same or it might go up next year. We don't know. But I think putting all your money in Bitcoin or money you don't have is definitely not
Even
recommended.
just from like a life stress point of view, like that surely would just suck.
Well, I think a lot of people are doing it like, I've got nothing to lose. I mean, I've seen a lot of, it's annoying, like not annoying, it's like concerning, like distressing. A lot of people posting on the internet. I can't remember. I did a search on Reddit for some.
Remortgaged my house.
Yeah, no.
Poor Bitcoin.
But really, I searched something about, I was interested in like, because there's Salt and Ethland, there's like these loaning Bitcoin, they take Bitcoin as collateral, there's loaning platforms. I was interested in those. So I searched, I don't know, maybe loan, I can't remember, something like that on like the Bitcoin subreddit. And everything was like, should I take out like another loan to buy Bitcoin? Like, guys, I have no money.
Right.
How big a loan should I take out?
Yeah.
Every single post was
Right.
that. And I was like, shit, this is not
good.
Not a good thing. Yeah.
I mean, think about where you're trickling out money the whole time. So like you use your credit card, which obviously you have to pay back with interest. And then I'm sure there's fees involved with that as well. And then you have to buy Bitcoin with fees. I think, as we said before, Coinbase, you're paying 4%. Then you hope to make profit on top of that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like an absolute minefield to hope to, at the end of it, with all the stress to make something. I mean,
Oh,
it's
definitely. In any other
surely-
field, it would not seem anywhere as appealing.
Right.
You know, like if you want to buy a stock and they're like, yes, there's going to be an initial 5% cost. It's going to be the credit
Right.
card repayment fee. Like, you think, well, hang on, how am I going to make money from this? But Bitcoin
Yeah.
is like, don't worry, when it doubles, I'll have plenty.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're already in a hole and you're kind
Yeah.
of thinking, how am I going to get myself out of this anyway? Then it's kind of just a bit of a Hail Mary.
And that's
So I'm just,
yeah, no, I completely agree. That's why I brought up the payday loan thing, because it should be obvious why they're pitfalls and why you shouldn't do it. But the reality is they're very successful because unfortunately desperation brings that out in people. You know, you think, well, this is my only way to kind of get past that. So it is very concerning. But at the same time, it seems like a very human problem because it is existing outside of crypto. It's existing with payday loans. So I'm not really sure how you fix it other than a big correction. And then that would just kind of, that's all that can really happen, unfortunately. I guess hopefully it just keeps going out forever and everyone just is always rich. But we'll see how that goes.
You know, it could be funny.
What?
Is so if all these people are buying crypto with credit cards,
Right.
And they can't pay the banks back.
Mhm.
And then so the banks get fucked over and the banks get destroyed because of crypto, but the crypto's just gone down and taken the banks down with them.
Actually, that's a funny idea.
I
Like,
don't think that's how it works. I think they'd all just go to prison and the banks would continue on.
well, I'm thinking though. I mean, they wouldn't.
Because, that's what started the global financial crisis.
2008.
People going to pay back.
Well, I think that might
bank.
be kind of fresh enough in the memory that they're not going to offer huge loans to everyone. But I don't know. I could be wrong. But I was just thinking about that from the perspective of the person taking out the loan. What is the bank's idea of repossessing crypto? Because of course,
Right.
you take their house, their car, whatever they can to pay it off.
Are they saying they're buying crypto when they're going in to get the loan though? Or is that
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could be like, where'd you put the money? Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of dramatized movies about, repayments, mostly for mafia, but I imagine it's very similar for the bank. I wonder, like, will banks start kind of repossessing Bitcoin or trying to repossess Bitcoin? Because I imagine
Right.
it's a very difficult thing to do. And that's kind of, I guess, that's my wonder with Bitcoin and the cryptos, how does it get kind of managed from governments and stuff like that?
It would be kind of hard, though, to try and possess an intangible asset, right? Be like, oh, I can't remember the address. Oh, I can't remember the password, guys. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. That,
Yeah.
100% without
Yeah.
torture, even with torture, something I could be like, guys, I literally forgot my password. I'm sorry. It's a huge string of characters.
I got some confetti, though, if you guys want that. Like, I remember the password to that.
I wonder. I mean, I guess the idea with crypto is that it's decentralized, so no government can
Right.
do that. No government can control that in any way, which is great. But then also, I guess it affects kind of positive government intervention in the sense of justice. If huge amount of money gets stolen, it's a lot more difficult to recover it, like the Confido scam, as opposed to centralized systems. So, I wonder what the approach will be to that. I guess the approach will just be not representing crypto, but you're still fucked because you're bankrupt. So,
Yeah.
I saw another coin. So you create a coin and then you have pawn stations around, like as in PAW.
Oh, okay. I was like,
And then
how's
so
this gonna work?
if people want to put the assets into something that can't be taken, you can just go to these pawn sites, cash in your assets for pawn coins or whatever, and then the banks can't take your assets.
Did you just say porn sites, meaning PAWN, like site being like place in
That
the
was on
world?
purpose.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, I was so distracted by that I didn't really understand the point. What was the idea?
Okay, so we know how like banks can take your assets if you can't pay back a loan, right?
Yeah.
So you run a crypto where people can cash in their assets for your coin.
So you have nothing but the coin.
So the
As a
banks
loan
come in and be
or a
like, oh,
trade?
where's your like TV and your car? It's like, oh, sorry, I've all got these. It's like coins that you can't remember my password, by the
It's
way.
an empty room. Empty room. You're like holding a USB key or something. Yeah.
What's the password again? Oh, fuck. Sorry, guys.
So
Come back tomorrow. I'll try and read
So
it.
you could do that now. You could just, when they come to get your stuff, just sell everything on the day.
Yeah. Did you mean like a loan system? So you loan it for 30 days or something? Is that the idea? Because I think
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought this through. This is right on the spot.
I think the failure point at all of these is the actual company running the switching point. So like, for example, Coinbase, like the US government was like, give us everyone who spent this much money, because they can't track the crypto, but they can track the USD being switched to crypto. Same thing with this, if you had a company like that, the government would just be like, okay, company, who are your customers? How much have they given you? Is that guy's sofa? We went to his house, there was nothing. Right? So yeah. I guess basically the theme is government interaction with crypto. How will it work? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Another news story that's been talked about this week is looking at the future of Bitcoin mining and where's that going to be heading. So China is where 2/3 of Bitcoin mining is happening at the moment, but there's a lot of uncertainty with the Chinese government maybe cracking down on Bitcoin mining, and so where are all these Bitcoin miners going to go? And a lot of people are talking about Canada being the next main place for people to mine Bitcoin. A few reasons why. Firstly, it's cold, so that's obviously good for computing. Cheap electricity. There's heaps of land up there. And the government looks like it's going to be pretty stable in terms of legislation.
Right, they're pretty accepting of crypto.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that being the case. Although I guess I think China is not the head of that now because of kind of geographical issues like heat and stuff. They're
Right.
there because that's where it's really booming. So, but I guess you could see a mass
It's just really
exodus.
cheap electricity there as well, isn't it?
Right?
Like,
Is it?
Northern China
think so.
gets very cold,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Right.
but probably not as cold as Northern Canada.
Yeah,
I don't know too much about
I would imagine.
climates, but
I think the reason China's got such dominance is just because their electricity is dirt cheap. Like they pay nothing to run.
but there's a Canadian utility company that's offering really cheap electricity as well. They ran a campaign trying to get data server companies to come over there, and they actually ended up attracting a lot of Bitcoin mining companies. So definitely a space to look out for in the near future when the Chinese government cracks down more and more and companies look to move. But also Scandinavian countries could be a good option. They've got heaps of data server companies over there, and there's no reason why they couldn't be a good hold for mining companies.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is. If I wanted to start a server, I now know where to go. I'm going to go straight to Canada. Australia's probably pretty terrible. Then I guess we have relatively high electricity temperatures. Yeah,
but we can get that electricity from Power Ledger.
That's true.
So we'll save a little
Very
bit.
efficient on the blockchain. Should I close the window? We're letting huge bugs in. Sorry,
Do
I'll
it.
close that. Professionalism.
Should we talk about the Africa thing?
And nothing's huge.
Jace just looked at my biceps and said that no.
Should look at your credit card.
It wasn't on the mic.
So what was the next one?
How long have we done? Blah 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 blah.
We are 23 minutes in.
Oh, shit.
Shall we talk about Africa
I thought.
and the blockchain?
Yeah.
Okay. Ollie, why don't you take us away with Africa on the blockchain? Let's start with Somalia and I'll move on.
So Tanzania.
I just saw an interesting article today about experts saying that Africa could be the continent that gets affected the most from the blockchain, which seems kind of interesting at first. But basically the reason why is Africa has an issue where a lot of the leadership roles, in whether it be politics or industry, are held by very old people. I think the average age of the political leader in Africa is 78 years old.
Right.
So they're saying that could be one of the reasons why Africa is getting held back and not progressing as much. And so there's a lot of blockchain startups happening actually in Africa, and the people leading the way are 25 to 45-year-olds, and this could really shift power to younger people who might be more progressive and might create change in Africa.
Right. Yeah. No, that sounds like a really good thing. I never would have thought about that, but that is a very good point. I think I don't know about the political structure, but doesn't Japan also have an aging population issue? Did they have quite?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a political issue.
But I think the big thing with Africa is leadership roles.
Yeah, right.
And older people. And I know that there are a few coins really looking into Africa. I think Dash had some really good projects in Africa. They put
Stellar as well.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah, I had no point to that. Just the fact that Stellar also was
said
looking
very,
into Africa.
Yeah,
You're going to
said,
say very something, right?
I thought about it.
I think good was the word that was coming
realised
after.
I did.
Very good.
We'll just edit it. Get Ollie to say good, and we'll cut this whole thing out.
Stellar are doing some really cool things all around the world. I think one of the great things about Stellar is it's making it a lot easier for international transfers. And I think the currencies that aren't as much infrastructure around it, the exchanges from, just say, if you wanted to change Nigerian dollars, I don't know what they... Ollie?
Pretty uneducated, Joe. We both know it's obviously
rupees.
So you just wanted to change Nigerian currencies for Japanese yen. I mean, I think can be kind of difficult. So if you go through the Stellar network, I think that's breaking down a lot of barriers. So that's, as I would say, very good.
Well,
I think
actually,
I
I
would
didn't say very good. I said very.
That's right. That would be very. Yeah, no, I think,
Please don't misquote me again.
I guess the only issue would be if there were like some real rocky roads ahead for crypto. That would be, I would hope that doesn't affect. Actually, you know what? I take it back, because I think that no matter what happens to the crypto market, I think the technology will still keep blooming.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the companies will really see the profits. Maybe not in the immediate years, or they might But if not, then I think 10, 20 years we'll definitely see, or hopefully, I shouldn't say definitely. I think we'll hopefully see a
For sure.
shift to the youngins.
I know another reason that Stella are looking at countries in Africa and places like that is because they are very.
Go on.
Come on, mate. Come on, mate.
Drum roll, please.
They're very involved in like international remittances. So people who have moved from say Africa to Europe or America, and they're sending money back to their African family. Similar to Misego in Southeast Asia, they're doing really similar stuff there. But essentially, it just makes it a lot easier using their technology as opposed to banks and changing from currency to currencies and taking weeks and days to transfer over.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Stella have a partnership with IBM, and IBM's really at the forefront of bringing Stella to different countries around the world and helping with that cause. And Dash also had a really cool project in Africa. I think some of the Dash activists in Africa put on a music festival, and to raise awareness.
Live Aid. Wasn't that them?
Live Aid. Was it U2 there? I can't remember. Was it in the 80s?
Yeah, that was. Neither of you know what Live Aid is?
Yeah, and sorry, I'll just move on from that. That's another example of FUD. Yeah, so they gave everyone a Dash wallet and put $5 worth of Dash in there. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well, that reminds me, again, Stella, I think they recently changed the minimum amount size for transactions. They made like a 20th of what it is or something like that. And so I think that also shows a focus toward not just, huge transactions,
right,
but also just, very kind of any person's transactions. Yeah. That would also help out, kind of getting to the everyday person, which is good.
Yeah, cool. If you guys have nothing to add, that's all the news I've got this week.
Well, I mean, don't be rude. We added plenty. Thank you very much.
Yeah, actually, it was our news, Joe.
Sorry, you guys were very good.
So you're still messing it up.
Still didn't commit.
Yeah.
Didn't commit to it.
All right, so let's move on to some questions that our loyal fans have sent through.
Yeah, very loyal.
On questions@thecoinstreettimes.com.
Yeah, that's right. Questions at the coin. Thanks again, guys, for sending. Unfortunately, we can't get to all of them. We had a huge amount this week, but thanks again. We'll probably get to them maybe next year sometime. So thank you.
Right. So firstly, I'll just start up here. Hey guys, seeing that Kodak has made an ICO, what is your view on large companies making their own cryptos? Doesn't that just make it more centralized? Is it keeping the power in the hands of corporations and not in the people themselves? Would love your thoughts. Love the show, Jeremiah.
Thanks for getting to us straight from the Old Testament. Thank you. Yeah, good question. A lot of facets to that question. Got to unpack that one. Well, I guess my first question is with the Kodak ICO. What's the coin? Do we know what the coin is used for?
Something to do with pictures.
Yeah, I think. What's the big? Is it Shutterstock? I think it's going to be like iStock or something. So heaps of stock photos, and you can just pay for it through crypto, and that can go to the photographers or the license holders as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
If they have a use case, that sounds... I mean, I think that's where I would draw the line. If they've got a use case that is plausible, I'd be like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, get on it. But
It's
I guess
just a big company making a coin for the sake of having a coin. That's a bit different.
Well, I guess it's hard to draw the line though, because I think that probably also fits this category. I don't think they were just we really want to have this technology, but we can't find a solution. And then finally they were like, blockchain. I think it's more likely that they were like, we should hop on this blockchain thing, guys.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I wonder how much if Kodak are taking a cut on the way through.
Of the coin?
Yeah. So I guess with crypto, if you are a photographer and you own photos, if someone wants to buy those photos, we can send it straight to the photographer. But yeah.
Well, I'm not sure on that, but I did hear with the kind of Kodak launch into this crypto space, I heard they're also building and selling Bitcoin miners. Did you guys hear about this? Physical machines that you can mine Bitcoin with, right. Which a lot of people are very kind of skeptical of because I think they're quite behind I don't know much about Bitcoin mining, but I've heard they're quite behind the times in what they're selling. some people are saying, "Oh, it's a scam." Like
It's
you'll
just
make
like a Windows PC.
yeah,
Got like
exactly.
XP on it.
Windows 95.
Yeah.
So I guess that to me makes it seem on one hand more legitimate because they're actually really trying to make a product that can be used for tangible benefit in the crypto world, but also is that execution really beneficial to the customer? I'm not sure yet. So I don't know if it's going to be a net positive or net negative for the world yet.
It's an interesting case, this Kodak thing, and I guess with other big companies where they have stock prices and also the crypto price. So that's something that I'm trying to wrap my head around.
Well, if the coin has a use case, it's not necessarily linked interchangeably with the value of Kodak as a business, though, is it?
I think now we're very used to that because everything is in its very preliminary phase. So investment in the coin is kind of more like, well, yeah, the coin will be useful, so I want to get in now. And that's kind of based on how well the company's performing. But I think in the future, that will kind of be more meted by how the network the coin's on is being used. How the coin.
So are they releasing like a platform with it for or do they have a platform and they're just kind of sticking coins in there?
I think they're still building the platform. I don't think the platform's available now. But I think to answer the question, obviously there are good and bad things about companies releasing ICOs and stuff. One good thing is money's been pumped into crypto. And the more that money's pumped into crypto, the faster it evolves and the faster it grows. So that's one good thing. But Jeremiah did bring up a good point where if these big companies are holding big stakes in crypto, the power could be held more in companies and less in the people.
It does legitimize it as well. Like when a big company is in the space, it's kind of like, oh, right. Your everyday person's going to be like, oh, right, okay, so that's not just drug dealers and scam artists. It's Kodak has their own crypto,
Yeah. They should do? They should make like a disposable coin where you get like 28 uses and then it like vanishes or something. You have to like wind a thing before you can. Reference to disposable cameras, guys. I know you're both millennials. You're too young to get this. But back in my day, we had to wind up our cameras. It's a bit of a goof and a gag. But yeah, I think... and I think... I unfortunately don't know enough about the Kodak one, but I would say that if you were interested in it, which it seems like a lot of people were because the stock price pumped like 4 times when they announced it.
The stock price?
Yeah, the actual stock price pumped. Because the coin obviously, is very likely to go up. But
well, that's it seems like a common theme with companies trying to jump onto the cryptocurrency bandwagon because shareholders love it. You guys hear about that Long Island iced tea company that was in the news a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
So basically, if you haven't heard about it, there was a company called Long Island Iced Tea, and basically they're in the NASDAQ and they were losing profits every year. And the NASDAQ said, if you don't get your share price above this amount and hold it for 10 weeks, then we're kicking you off the NASDAQ. So they were like, oh, what are we going to do? So they just changed the name to Long Blockchain, and that made their price quadruple. The stock price quadruple, and they actually held it. And I think at first they were like, okay, you guys are just manufacturing iced tea and call yourself Long Blockchain. But now they're actually like, yeah, well, we actually are losing money on this iced tea making thing, so let's actually pivot completely.
This whole iced tea thing's not working.
Let's pivot completely to crypto. So now I don't think they've started mining as of yet, but they are going to be Bitcoin mining, and they're looking at, I think, Scandinavia to set up.
That is the most random piece of news. That is so strange.
Well, I think multiple companies are just saying, like, putting the word Bitcoin or blockchain in their name because it just resonates with investors.
Yeah, I don't want to say that sounds exactly like the .com boom, but I have to say that sounds exactly like all the companies.
No, it definitely does. It definitely does.
Yeah, adding .com to everything.
Yeah. I think we'll see a lot of parallels between the .com boom and the crypto boom.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the companies that die off are probably those ones like Long Blockchain. Like, I don't know if that really has the staying power.
Yeah.
Although watch me eat my words in 20 years when we're all spending long tokens or whatever it is. Yeah. But wait, so are they still making iced tea, or are they completely dropping that? Or is it just on the side they're making iced tea?
Yeah, that would be insane. I went to just completely...
I went to the website and I think they've completely pivoted.
Really? I feel like
mining.
they're called Long Island iced tea. I've heard that very commonly.
There's also the cocktail, the Long Island iced tea.
Okay. So they're not behind that. They're not
Right,
the originators or anything. They don't get a credit every time a bartender makes that. That's what I'm wondering. Legitimately, I don't know.
They seem to like just jumping on other successful things.
That's true.
How do they get on? Isn't the NASDAQ for like tech? Or am I?
No, I think it's
It's
just
just
the
general
list
stuff.
of the like top 500 companies or something in somewhere. I don't know.
Although to be fair, I didn't know that there was like some big daddy NASDAQ being like, kids, you're not performing. Otherwise, you can turn this car around if you don't. I didn't know that's how it worked.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure exactly how it works. I think it is like the top maybe 500 companies.
right.
But I think they want to keep some sort of stability.
Right. So you have like, if you fall out, you have a time
Right.
period where you can come back in and that's fine.
So I think it's something like that.
Right.
I don't know.
No, that makes sense. But can't wait for the ICO, guys.
Yeah.
Long blockchain, get pumped.
But yeah, so we didn't really answer the question too much though.
I guess there were a lot of facets. I think we gave our general opinions of all the
There's pros and cons. Yeah.
Ollie thinks that it's very good. So that's his input on that.
Right. Well, this isn't going to die, is it?
Yeah, I think we just said big companies, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, there's pros and cons. Like,
Yeah.
depends what they do.
Very-
Like, if they do it in a bad way, then it's
Yeah, the use case is what we were talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, so if it's a good use case, go for it.
But I do think the legitimizing factor of having big companies involved in the space is big.
Would you guys find it weird though if a bank brought out a coin?
I wouldn't find it weird. I think it'd be the most normal use of a coin.
Yeah.
But I guess it would be, it would mark a change. I think it'd mark a big change. I guess it depends how big the bank is, but most banks are big enough. They've got a lot of money. So it would be very interesting if a bank had a public coin. I think a lot of banks are using behind the scenes blockchain technology, not publicly. They're just using it to monitor their own, things. But that would be very interesting if a big bank came out with a coin. I guess that would probably...
I guess that's what Ripple's trying to get there first, so they don't do it themselves.
Which is probably better than,
Yeah.
A big bank just making their own coin. But I don't know.
But would you find it weird at all? Like, would you like not want to invest in it even though you think that it could go really well?
I don't know if I thought it would go up, I'd probably invest in it because I don't know if I'd be, if I thought it was really evil and I invested in it and made money, I'm probably hindering them more by selling off when it gets big. They probably want people to hold it. So if anything, that's probably not really as much of a concern.
You can justify it whatever way you want.
No, but I think I mean, I could be wrong. Do you reckon that would hurt them more if you sold out halfway through, or do you reckon it would hurt them more if you never bought it at all? I guess
think
ignoring
it would
them
hurt them more if you just ignore them completely.
I want to give them a go,
You don't
Joe.
make money, Joe.
Yeah, I want to give them a go. I want to see what they're all about. Maybe the $10, $20 mark, I'll think maybe they're not so good. No, I'm just kidding. But I
That
don't.
Nazi coin, though.
yeah, it's a hot one. Get on it.
Right. So, next question.
Yep.
As we've pretty much covered that one, will be, hey guys, long time listener here, first time question sender inner. Was just wondering if you guys had any tips for not getting scammed within the crypto space, and if you have ever fallen for anything dodgy before yourselves. Cheers, Francois.
How do you say thank you in French? I should know this.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Francois.
De toi.
Isn't Francois just mean French? Is it
Francis?
isn't Francois just
Francois.
French in French? Isn't that French in French?
I don't think so.
Get a new name, dude. Is all I'm saying. Something like Bruce, Dave. One of them normal.
I didn't name these people, Jason. So.
That's very true. I'm so sorry. But yeah, scams. Let's think.
I guess the first thing you shouldn't do is get overexcited too easily, which is something that I did.
Yeah.
I can definitely do.
It's very true.
Yeah, because there's so many ads you'll see on Facebook and stuff like that, and it's very easy to see that. And then obviously they're gonna say all the buzzwords, and it's gonna be bright lights and flashy and stuff, and it's so easy to be, oh cool, yeah, I'm gonna jump on.
Yeah.
And they're probably often gonna say they're the first coin doing something, which they're good chance that they aren't.
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Well, I think I linked you guys a new ad for a new coin I got on Facebook, which was
yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, which is good. I don't want to give it publicity, but every single part of the Facebook ad, the picture, the top text at the bottom, like the caption under the picture, was all like, this coin will go huge after the ICO, like 20 times after the ICO.
Yeah.
No mention, it was just caps. The price will rise.
Yeah, literally. There's no mention of what it does or what it's used for.
Forget the white paper.
It's literally just like, here's a coin, buy it.
Yeah.
So don't do that. It would be a good tip to not get scammed, because that's probably a scam. I also heard a recent scam. I can't remember the name of the coin. It was something to do with pornography. I can't remember.
Right.
But
seems to be a recurring theme on our podcast.
yeah, it wasn't Big Boobs coin. They're solid. They're fine. Buy as much as you want. But I can't remember the name. But basically, they just had an ICO, raised all their money, and then they just deleted everything instantly. As soon as the ICO ended, they didn't even wait like Confuta. They didn't pretend like they got hacked. They just left, and that was it. So I think the key thing to not get scammed is look at the team behind it. At least try and find out that they're kind of famous enough that they would have a lot to lose from just disappearing. That would be a good first step, I would say.
Yeah, crypto is a bit like movies. You know, you got to want like some big players there to, reassure you.
Do you like indie movies, Joe? You're not into the small art house stuff?
Yeah, well, it is like indie movies because they're a bit more hit and miss. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah. If you want to be safe, if you're new to the game, probably start with the bigger coins and work your way down. Like something like Ethereum is probably
it's like your Tom
very
Cruise.
Stable. Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption of.
Did you say Tom Cruise, like known Scientologist and eccentric man who doesn't? Does he still act? I didn't even know.
Yeah, can't remember the last time I saw him in a recent movie.
Get your references updated.
Yeah, well, Ethereum's an old coin.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, that's right.
There's lots of like phishing sites I've noticed within crypto. Like there'll be. I mean, I know there's what's the site where you can put in your coins and you can literally change it from whatever you put in to anything else. Shapeshift, I think. Shapeshift?
I've heard of it. I don't know much.
I've seen ones which are like Shappy Shift. So they're like just one letter's changed. But everything else will be exactly the same. Like you think you're on the same page.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why
there's just lots of stuff like that.
I've noticed on Binance, the login page says, it's like I got a huge picture of what the URL should look like and says, make sure your URL, it says, this official thing.
Right.
And it was actually funny because someone posted a phishing site version, and it did stand out because they'd taken that picture out, obviously, because that's a reminder. So that's a good way to kind of protect your users. But yeah, you can never be too careful. I think you can bookmark it. Maybe that's a good way.
Right.
Although there are hacks that can, there are hacks that can stop that. And there are hacks that also, if you're doing a transaction, so you copy the address you want to send something to and you paste it somewhere, there are hacks or malware that can get in your computer that will, when you copy an address, it'll change that address to the hacker's address.
Whoa.
So when you paste it, so check that whatever address you copy and paste is the same as.
Yeah.
Because
I like to check the first few and the last few in the address.
Memorize them, dude. Whole thing, recite it 20 times. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. I think the team's probably almost the number one thing. And the website, obviously, you want them to have a good website. If they have a dodgy website, that's probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
What do you guys say?
Yeah, probably.
The white paper, if you guys bothered to read that, that's probably.
Yeah.
They got those grayed out profile pictures next to
Yeah.
that.
On LinkedIn.
And I guess like if they're active on social media, that's good. Because like the more transparency, I guess, the better.
Absolutely.
So if they're constantly talking on social media, if there's a contact section, that's all good things to look for.
And a lot of coins are open source, so you can go to GitHub and literally see the code that makes the coin
Yeah.
tick. So that could be very good to assure you that you can see how often it's updated, so you can make sure that there's active development. It's not just abandoned.
Yeah, that's another thing. If there's dodgy GitHub, like if you go there and there's nothing happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably not a good thing.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. I think there's no harm with really starting. I mean, you can be as adventurous as you want, but there's no harm starting out with kind of the bigger ones and working your way down, I guess, the list to less common coins, to ICOs, to paying your friend Gary to start a coin.
I definitely want to jump into ICOs first.
Yeah,
like, that's probably not a good start.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So stay out. I think they call them the blue chip coins, like the kind of all reliable, the top 3 or so. Stay around there, and then you can. Although, honestly, who am I? Just do what you want. But I would just say ICOs are probably too far to start out with.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Also, if they're doing really gimmicky things, that's probably not good. Well, actually, some of the gimmicky kind of coins are doing quite well, like the ones that call themselves like 10x or have a logo as a rocket. Like,
Well,
what do you guys think about that kind of stuff?
Well, have you heard about DentaCoin? It's a coin for dentists. It went huge recently.
Right.
It's gone massive.
Dentists.
It's called DentaCoin. I didn't look too much into it because it's fucking DentaCoin, but it's a technology that's absolutely doesn't need blockchain. It's a way of sharing maybe dental records. If you go to another dentist somewhere overseas or something, they can have your dental records. Which I guess that's kind of nice.
It seems like
I suppose you could use blockchain, like just.
Oh, you can.
Wouldn't need a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't need a coin. It could just be I guess the idea with coins often is that you get people to mine it. So it's kind of like the way to pay people for server fees. Yeah. But still, the amount it rose is really the huge thing. Like it's so I guess with limited use cases, you got to be really sure that is a very good use case, because if that fails, that coin's not got the other options.
Yeah.
So
it seems like there's a bit of a rise in industry-based coins. Like we're talking about the one for air travel and stuff in this DentaCoin.
Yeah,
so
right.
It could be
similar. Yeah.
Could be like,
Chef coin next week.
Yeah, put your cooking resume on the blockchain. Yeah. Can't edit it ever.
Or your menus. Were you calling Stella a gimmick just then?
I love Stella.
Yeah, but you said it has a rocket ship
logo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I was saying, actually a lot of them are doing quite well.
But why do you assume that's because they're going to moon? That could just be, it's just
they're just like rockets.
Yeah, they're like rockets. They're thinking big.
Yeah.
Skeptical.
Well, it's just something to look out for. Okay, like obviously all these things like.
You called them out and then you said two really legit.
I know.
Yeah, legit coins.
Yeah.
I feel like if they're playing for gimmicks.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like if it's got like a shiny coin in this logo, like Bitcoin or something, like stay away from it.
But obviously, like someone might have a really a team that's not visible and that could be awesome. Like a coin could be super gimmicky and they actually could go really well.
I guess we're talking about we're not talking absolutes. We're talking about kind of risk assessment.
Signs to look out for. Yes. That could be a scam.
So you could have a coin made by an absolute no one who's not public, and very dodgy, but it's huge and legit.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah, exactly. But if you want, you're messing with fate a bit. You're kind of taking a lot of chances. So I'd say check LinkedIn, like find the people who made it, see if they have any previous history. Right. That can give you some confidence in the project, see what they've done before. I think that's probably my main tip.
Because if we put our minds in if we are the scammers, right, we'll probably not haven't.
Joe, we don't talk about this on the podcast, right?
We probably haven't developed any good tech. We haven't invested a lot of money into programming, like really good blockchain tech or whatever. So we have to rely on these other things, like gimmicks, to get people to invest. Yeah,
that's true.
Because we can't rely on the technology. So that's why it could be a sign.
That's what I thought was so funny about that the pornography one that was a scam, because they took the money right after ICO. They had no technology, not one line of code. They just they said send your money to this address, we'll credit that much to your account when the coin exists, which it never did. So maybe,
that sounds so dodgy.
You should expect more. That's not enough. Yeah.
Put your money in this paper bag and mail it to this address, and we'll release a coin.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
We'll get to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
I am a Nigerian prince. And I have I think that's it for questions this week. If you have any that you want to send in for us next week to answer on the podcast, send them to questions@thecoinstreettimes.com.
Is it questions at Coinstreet Times?
Dude, you do this every week.
Is it the Coin Street? It's Coinstreet Times, right?
Yeah.
Not the Coinstreet Times.
What did you say?
You said the Coinstreet Times.
You said the Coinstreet Times.
Did I?
Yeah.
We do this every week.
My bad, guys.
We do this every week. Okay, did you actually say that earlier?
Did I?
Yeah, because I remember going, it's the...
God damn it.
Okay.
Well, either way, they know now. Coinstreet Times.
This is why we get
Again,
questions at coinstreettimes.com.
Just send it to my personal email, boogie56.
Okay, this is it. Questions at coinstreettimes.com.au.
Oh, no, it's not.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? You've got to be kidding.
.nz.
Not .au.
You know what? Just don't send a question. We don't deserve it. At this point, we don't deserve your question. No, but seriously.
Questions are just... What's the fucking email?
So you know what? I'm going to go back and edit it. And I'm going to we'll make it yours sound correct. And then we'll make it seamless. They won't know anything. Cool.
What's the funniest bit of the podcast so far?
Just our ineptity.
Look, if you want to check it, go to our website. It's www.coin.
Fuck.
Yeah, cool.
So questions at coinstreettimes.com.
Nice.
So on to the game for this week.
Yeah, let's play the game. See how our coins from last week did.
Yeah.
Sweet. Jace, you won last week, so why don't you kick us off with how you went?
I will. How did I do? Let me just check that right now. So my coins were Kyber Network and PivX, 50-50 split. So Kyber Network went down 4.7%, and PivX went down 0.8%. So
that's pretty good.
yeah, it's not too bad. The week was pretty red.
Yeah.
It was not a great week. So a loss of 2.6% or 27.62 cents, $27. So you know what? I'll live to fight another day, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
okay
you've done
with
it right there.
Yeah,
I can jump in next.
go for it.
So I did 50-50 between Gamecoin and Nebulous, which were the two outside 1,000
Right, yeah, adventurous
ranking
picks.
Yeah, and so Gamecoin had a 0.64% increase, so pretty much stayed the same.
It's pretty big.
And Nebulous had a 7.38%
Christ.
Drop or increase?
increase. Sorry.
So you're in the green this week.
Yeah, 4% in the green.
Well, that is nothing to scoff at this week because this week has been tough.
So it has been tough. So yeah, made $40.
Nice.
Not bad.
So
Not bad.
pretty much stayed pretty stable.
Hmm.
Drum roll, please. I went 50% QuantStamp, 50% Rayblox. QuantStamp made a total percentage change of minus 26%. And Rayblox minus 21. So total, I lost about $240. So thank God this is all made up.
Hello, it's me again, Stephen Hawking, resident editor at the Coin Street Times podcast. The podcast ends here, due to technical difficulties. For next week's game, the coin picks were as follows. Jace picked 80% ICX and 20% EOS. Joe picked 50% Stellar and 50% Cardano. Ali picked 25% Bitcoin, 25% Ethereum, 25% Stellar, and 25% Cardano. I am glad the recording is lost forever, as I cannot stand their voices. I find them very annoying. If you agree, please lodge your complaints at the following email address: questions@coinstreettimes.com. Thank you for listening.